Hi everyone. In this video, I am going to take you through the detailed application process for SNAP and the SNAP accepting institutes. Let's get started. Now the registration for SNAP has already started. So it started on the 1st August and I'm going to take you through the important dates first before we get into the entire registration process. So these are the dates that you need to keep in mind. So the registration has started and it is going to continue till 20th November. Now regarding SNAP, you can basically take 3 attempts. So SNAP is conducted 3 times and you can take multiple attempts if you want. They don't do any normalization. So the way it works is when you take the SNAP, the raw score that you get, the best raw score that you have is used to calculate the final percentile. It means that there is no normalization, and hence if you are somebody who is a very serious aspirant at SNAP accepting institutes, you should be considering multiple attempts. If not all, at least you should consider 2 attempts. So these 3 attempts are going to happen. So they call it SNAP test 1, 2 and 3. So SNAP test 1 is scheduled for 6th December. Second will happen on the 14th December and the third test, the final test, will happen on the 20th December. A lot of times students ask which one should I take. So firstly, it will depend on what other test you are planning to take. So you'll have to strategize accordingly. For example, you may be taking, let's say, NMAT and MyCAT, etc. So you need to plan that way. So, but the recommendation that I have, as I said, because they don't do any normalization, ideally you should be looking at taking multiple attempts. So don't rely on a singular attempt. It's not the best thing that can happen because it forces students to take multiple attempts, but that's how it is and we have to play by the rules that they have set. So definitely you should be considering multiple attempts. I would suggest 2. If it is possible for you to take all 3, you can take all 3, because previously there have been reports of fluctuations in terms of the difficulty and we don't know which test will be more difficult, which one will be easier. So it is always advisable that you take multiple attempts. With that, let's get started with the registration process. So the first thing that you'll have to do is you'll have a link in the description. You can start your registration process there, and once you click on the link, it will ask you to click on apply now, and once you click on apply now, this is the first thing that you will see. Now because you are creating account for the very first time, you'll have to click on the register button here, and then it will show you these instructions that before initiating, please ensure that you go to browser settings and turn off the autofill option, because sometimes it interferes with the form filling. You might end up let's say putting some wrong information because of the autofill functionality, and that is why you need to disable that. Then you click on that button there, which is by clicking here I confirm that I have read everything and so on, and then you move forward. Now regarding the registration, so this is the form. So it's a very simple form to create your account. You start with the applicant name. They have mentioned that it has to be as per your 10th, 12th mark sheet or certificate. Then you enter the date of birth from the drop down. You put the mobile number, and then you have to enter primary email and retype that primary email. Then there is a question on category. They have specified that this is applicable to institutes other than SIMS. SIMS has a defense quota and there is a different reservation that they follow. So if you're applying to SIMS, you'll have to furnish some more information. But for now, this is what it is, right? So just the category. So in category, you will see that the category is only open SC, ST, PWD and KM, right? So there is no NC, OBC, there is no EWS. So these are the only categories. These are the options that you will see in the drop down. Now, if you are an NRI candidate, there's a follow-up question. So are you an NRI candidate? Number 1, and the nationality that you need to select. Okay, so these are the things that they have asked when it comes to the initial registration. So now once you enter all of this information, you'll basically create your account, and then there are some additional questions before you get there. The first is SNAP test options. Now you have to decide out of the 3 tests which ones you are planning to take. Do you have to make that choice right now? The answer is yes, though you can always add to your attempts at a later point of time. So let's say I'm filling the form in August, and in August, I've decided that I'm going to appear for, let's say, only 1 attempt of this in December. But then I realized that, let's say, in the month of September, October, I feel that, okay, I should be taking 1 more attempt. I can always come here and add that attempt as long as I am completing all of my application process before the deadline. So you have to complete, you have to indicate whatever attempts that you want to take, whether it is 2 or 3 or 1, you have to complete the payment of all of that before the registration deadline. So here, for example, I can select, so just to give an example, I've chosen Snap Test 1 and Snap Test 3. Okay. Now it will show me the test city. So I can also choose the test city where I want to take that particular test, and it will show me whether the seats are available or the slots are available. So as we progress in the entire journey, you will see that the availability will change. So in some cases it will show, for example, no slots available, right? Because what it means is that for that particular test city, whatever number of test venues they have and the seats that they can accommodate, already they have received these many applications. So you may have to choose a city which is, let's say, different from your preferred city. And that is why they have also written there that the earlier you pay, the higher are your chances to obtain a test date and test city of your choice. So the earlier you fill the form, obviously it is going to be better. If you wait till the very end, it may happen that you do not get the city of your choice. Then you also have to upload your current passport size photograph. They have mentioned not more than 6 months old. I'm guessing because you are also filling a few other forms, you have some the photograph and some of the other documents also ready. So it will be very easy to fill this particular form. So upload your photograph and you can click on I have verified all the details, my date of birth, category and all of that, and then you proceed. So once you do this, there will be an OTP validation. Now this OTP will be sent to your email address and to your mobile number. You can enter it here and submit it, and then it will ask you for payment. So you won't be able to add more information. So there are other questions related to your academic record and your work experience and all of that. But that will get activated, that part of the form will get activated only after you have made the initial SNAP payment. So you could have chosen one SNAP, you could have chosen 2 or 3 or whatever. You have to make that payment first, and then the rest of the form will unlock. So click on the payment, whatever is the payment, you make it, and then you proceed. So now what will happen is, this is how your dashboard will look. It will show you what is the amount that you need to pay. Now since I have chosen 2 SNAP attempts, it is showing me 4,500 because it is 2250 per attempt of SNAP. So if you are taking 3, it will calculate accordingly and show you the figure. So this is the amount that I'll have to pay first before I can fill the rest of the form. So now I will make the payment, and once I have made the payment, this is how that page will appear. So it will show me that, okay, SNAP test 1, SNAP test 2. It is showing that I have not paid at this point of time. One very important thing here, which also we will focus on as we progress, is going to be this, that in addition to this, which is the SNAP fees, you are also expected to pay the program registration fee of INR 1000 for every program. So for every program that you wish to apply to, you have to pay 1000 rupees per program. Okay, so that's additional thing that you'll have to pay. So now we'll complete the SNAP payment process. So here I will click here to pay, and then pay the amount that it has shown me, and then once I'm done, it is going to show me my receipt number. So with this, I've completed the SNAP application process. I have not yet added any of the institutes, which is going to come in the later part. So once I'm done with this payment, I'm going to click on continue, and then it will show me the remaining questions. So the first question that will show me after this, so again the same dashboard, is going to be regarding work experience. So do you have full-time work experience? I'm going to say yes or no depending on whatever is applicable. You have to calculate full-time work ex as on 31st May 2026. So this is different compared to a lot of other B schools, the way they ask you, or tests the way they ask you. This is 31st May 2026. Now some of you may be wondering, I don't know whether I'm going to be working till then. But if you're currently employed, you have to assume that you will continue to work till the end of May. Or if you know that, okay, I'm going to quit my job in December, you can calculate that accordingly. Okay, so this is something where you'll have to make some judgment, some assumptions, and then enter it. But for those of you who are working, you can safely just calculate it till 31st May 2026 and enter in the form. They don't have a lot of questions regarding work experience. This is the only thing that they've asked for. Then we get into educational details. So under educational details, again for 10th, 12th, you just need to enter the percentage of the marks that you have obtained. So in case of CGPA, the conversion has to be followed by whatever is the university or the board logic that is given. You have to follow that. Okay. So certified by board, by university institution. If there is no scheme, you can simply calculate it by obtained CGPA divided by maximum CGPA into 100. And that will give you your 10th and 12th percentage, similar to what you have in the CAT form as well. So 10th marks, 12th marks, you just have to enter percentages. Your highest qualification is what you can select, so appearing for bachelor's or bachelor's degree, etc. And then aggregate of the UG percentage that you have. If you are in the final year, that question will disappear, they will not ask you this. So if you have selected bachelor's degree completed, then you'll have to enter the percentage. UG education type, so for example commerce and engineering and stuff like that, and then the name of the degree, so whether it is BSc, BCom, BA, etc. Then there is your UG university name, so you just have to select it from the drop down, and if the drop down your university is not available, you can select other. Okay, so this is the academic detail part of the whole form. Then we come to the important part, which is the program selection. So far the payment that I did was for SNAP, but for individual programs I have not paid. So if I want to apply to say the SIBM Pune, the MBA program, I have not yet applied. So this is the part where you have to select the individual programs and then make the payment. A lot of students have the question that how do I decide which program should I be adding, or do I need to add all the programs at this point of time? So right now you don't have to add all the programs, but what you need to do is before the application deadline of that particular institute, you have to complete this process. Because see, SIBM Pune will have a different deadline compared to say an SCMHRD, that will have a different deadline compared to say an SIIB, an SIOM, an SSBF. All of these B schools have different application deadlines. Typically you can classify them into 3 categories. Some of the programs will have deadline prior to SNAP, some of the programs will have deadline prior to SNAP result, and some of them will be open even after SNAP result has been announced. So the way generally it works is that the higher the program is in terms of overall ranking, it will have a deadline which is earlier. So an SIBM and SCMHRD will close even before SNAP is conducted. So those of you who know that going by the past cutoffs, I'll be able to make it to say an SIBM and SCMHRD, you have to apply to these programs even before SNAP is conducted. So you have to follow, so on the B school zone, we update all the application deadlines, but I would also suggest that you can always visit the respective program web pages and figure out what are their deadlines. You keep a track of it, of course on the B school zone, you will have that tracker. If you haven't checked it out, please do it. We haven't yet added because for most of these programs, they have not mentioned what are the application deadlines. But you try and complete the process as early as possible. So if I know that, okay, I'm going to apply to SIBM Pune, let me not wait till the deadline of SIBM Pune. I can just add it now and complete the payment process. So here you will select, so let's say if I select 5 programs, I'll have to pay 5,000 rupees. So go through the program list, figure out which ones you want to apply. You can, as I said, you can always come back to the form, you can log in and add more colleges and programs if you want to do that. Then there's a question on correspondence. It's sort of out of place. I was expecting the question to be much earlier in the form, but then there is a question on correspondence address, 123 city, state, pin code. So pretty standard thing, followed by your phone number and an alternate email ID, which is mandatory in nature. So you'll have to give one more email address, type it again to confirm it. And then this is how the summary page will look, right? So now what has happened is I have paid for 2 SNAP attempts. If I want to add one more SNAP attempt, I'll still be able to do it. So I'm allowed to do that. So don't think that because you paid for only one, you cannot add one more attempt. You can do that as long as you're doing it before the application deadline. So keep that in mind. If you feel like adding more attempts, you can always do that. The other thing that will happen is, which I will show you as we progress, is let's say if I've added an attempt, but I've not paid for it, then what? Because it will continue to display in my dashboard. So will that create a problem for me if I don't want to take it later? It won't create a problem as such, but it will continue to appear under pending payment. Okay, so I'll show you that. Then there's a follow-up question whether you want to apply to the Dubai programs, the Dubai MBA program. If you want to apply, you can do that. And then this is how my summary is looking now. So under the payment page, it is showing me that I've paid for the first 2 SNAP attempts, but I chose the MBA SIBM Pune program, but I have not yet paid for it. Okay. So till the time I have completed this payment process, I can't say that I have submitted my application for SIBM Pune. So your details will not be sent to SIBM Pune because you have not made the payment. By when do I have to complete this payment? Before the application deadline of SIBM Pune, whatever that date may be. Okay. So you have to complete that payment prior to it. If let's say you have chosen all 3 snaps, in the initial stage, but you end up deciding to take only 2 of them and you make payment for only 2 of them, the third will continue to appear under pending payment page. Will that be a problem? No, it won't be a problem. So every year that's the same thing. It will continue to appear under pending payment, but because you have not paid for it, you are not going to take the test. You will not get admit card for it. So don't worry about that, because there's no way to uncheck it, unfortunately. And I've always felt that it's a bug and they have not fixed it, and they have never fixed it for whatever reasons, but that is how it is. So if you if you put a check there that I want to take the test, it comes here. Unless you make the payment, it will not vanish and you will not be able to uncheck it there. Okay, so that's the nature of the form. So don't worry too much about it. And once you're done, you just click here to pay. So now I'll have to pay that 1,000 rupees that I have not paid, the 4,500 I had initially paid. So this is how the entire form filling process is going to be. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat, in the comment section. We'll be very happy to answer your queries with respect to SNAP, with respect to some of the colleges under SNAP. If you have any queries, let us know. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do it right away. We have also released form filling guideline videos for other tests, whether it is ZAT, CAT and NMAT. So go through these videos so that you don't make any mistakes. In the description, you will find an application link and you can start the process there. Thank you so much for watching. Wish all of you all the best for SNAP. I'll see you soon in some other video. Bye.